This just came in the mail, and it is straight from GoPro. The GoPro Hero 11, and I've never seen it come wrapped in a brown paper service before. Now, not only did I buy the Hero 11, I went ahead and got an extra Enduro battery because this is really the only batteries that work up here in the mountains for me. And they sent me a free 32 gigabyte SD card, which I'll use for something else because I'm going to be putting this little 128 gigabyte card in there. Everything like this is linked in the description below if you're looking for proper cards to use with your cameras. Now, of course, I'm going to be comparing it with the 10 as well as the Action 2 by DJI, the Action 1 by DJI, and when it gets here, the Action 3. Now, if you really want me to, let me know in the comments below, and I have the GoPro 4 and the GoPro 7, which I'd be happy to do some side-by-side stuff once snowboard season actually gets started here in the next month or so. I'm gonna get this open, and we're just gonna go out and not compare it to anything and use it as if it's the first action camera you've ever got. Comes with a similar case to the GoPro 10, which is cool, but at the same time a bummer because once you take this little thing out, it's just like a big empty case, and if you use it for anything, everything will just slide around. It would be really nice if GoPro actually had dividers in this instead of this little cardboardy plastic thing that comes in it. They do give you another USB to USB-C wire in the box, so now you have, what, like 230 of them? Another sticky mounting thingamajigger. One of their little crappy screws, which I wish that one of these days GoPro would make a better screw function. Like this one, see how it's not round? It actually gives you something to grab onto to torque this thing down. Of course, it comes standard with an Enduro battery. Again, the only way to use one of the new GoPros. And of course, the camera itself. Really? The original Osmo Action did this same thing, that you had to upgrade your software before you could use the camera. Can't just open the box and start using the camera. Some people don't want to hook it up. They just want to push record and go. And there it is. The biggest difference between the 10 and the 11, the number. Not really. There are some reasons that I got the 11, and I'm going to talk about that in this video. And spoiler alert, it's not the 10-bit color profile. But I am still really on the fence because I've seen so many people doing comparison videos where I actually liked the coloring profile on the 10 more than the 11. But there is definitely a reason that I wanted this over this. If you want a video that talks about how to use your GoPros because you're new to the action camera world, make sure you also let me know. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification and hit thumbs up and all that stuff because it all helps the channel tremendously. Let's get this thing charged up and get out of the house. Everything you see from this point until the very end, when I give you my impressions, will be recorded now on the GoPro 11. Yeah, can I get the potato bowl combo with no corn? No. You always got to check to make sure it's not flat before you drive away. Now, there are already a lot of videos out there showing you comparisons of the GoPro 10 to the 11 to the Osmo Action 3. So I thought I'd just go out and actually use this camera and put little notes what mode I'm filming in and how it actually holds up as a vlogging / action camera. It is an overcast rainy day with some amazing clouds, and right now I'm just going to look for a place to go fly a drone and get some really cool shots of these leaves changing color. Now, I'm just like you. I'm just a guy using a GoPro to film my stuff to capture here for YouTube. I do a lot of action stuff in the winter and in the summer. And after seeing so many other people do videos comparing the GoPro 11 to the GoPro 10, I wasn't like, oh my God, I have to have this. The 10-bit color really didn't do anything for me because I typically just film in vivid mode on the GoPro, which is what you're seeing now. But there were two other features on this camera that pretty much sealed the deal for me, which are the main reasons I decided to go ahead and get the GoPro 11. Look at all these colors. Just 2 days ago, everything was still green. Just in 2 nights, everything is starting to change color. So we're gonna take up a drone real quick and get a couple shots. By next weekend, these things should be at full yellow, orange, red everywhere. I'm gonna be taking this camera around to get shots and going around and getting drone shots for a different video. So if you are not subscribed to the channel, my name is Sean Oz. This is the World of Oz. I live up here in Colorado in the mountains, and I capture all kinds of cool stuff using 360 cameras, drones, and of course, regular old action cameras. Everything in this video is not color corrected. This is all gonna be the audio straight from the GoPro. There's a lot of videos out there right now where they're just using the normal profile. For most of you, it might be great, but I love that GoPro Vivid Pop, and I hate doing more work in post than I have to. And typically that color profile gives me exactly what I want. Right now, I'm gonna just fly my drone over all this stuff. Now, before I actually get into why I bought the GoPro 11, let me tell you one thing that I am quite disappointed that it doesn't have. It still only goes up to 240 frames a second. I was really hoping this year we'd get a bump to 480 frames per second and get some pretty damn good slow motion out of this thing, but GoPro did not give us that. As of now, we still only have 240 frames a second, which captures stuff like this. That water is so damn cold, and it comes in handy for snowboard season when we get all those crazy powder days with powder shots and you slash the board and snow's flying everywhere. So I am glad that we at least have 240 frames a second, but come on GoPro, could you really not just throw something like that into the 11 to make it just have one thing that surpasses the other action cameras out there this year? Let's talk about the two things that made me go ahead and decide to buy this camera. Now, if you're familiar with the GoPro Max, you can do in single lens mode a full 360 degree rotation, as well as they made something called the Max Lens mod that lets you take the camera and turn it full 360 degrees and it doesn't do what you just saw. Now I've turned that feature on and I'm gonna rotate the camera a full 360, and again, the horizon should be staying locked solid. What's cool about that is I don't need the Max Lens mod. The bummer about that is it is in linear mode, so it is cropped in more. The Max Lens mod lets you get a super wide field of view and still get that exact same look. But if you do it with the GoPro 11, this is what you get. This is now in super view, and if we do the same thing, you'll see it does not stay horizon locked. Now, most of the time when you're doing snowboarding or some kind of activity and you're filming yourself, you're gonna need this super view. But for vlogging purposes, that locked horizon in linear mode is a game changer. And it is just a bummer that it doesn't work in super view. But it is one of the reasons that I chose to go ahead and get the GoPro 11. Now let's talk about reason number two. It's no longer just 4.3 or 16.9. We're now using 8.7, which is great if you're doing short form content as well as full 16:9 content like we see here on YouTube. You can now make two videos out of one. As you can see now, I'm getting a higher vertical than what I would if I was just using 4.3. This is now 4.3. I'm splitting at the exact same arm length that I was. I don't know if that's enough for you to make that a big game changer or if you really need it for that feature, but for me, I found that another reason to go ahead and pick up the GoPro 11. Let's go ahead and get a couple more laps and really put the stability to the test on the GoPro 11. there are really only two things about the GoPro 11 that sort of irks me just a little bit. They're not major, but I figure I might as well talk to you about them since we're here. One of those things is all these years, GoPro still hasn't made it easy to get the SD card out. I feel like it's just, you got to take the battery out to really get the SD card out easily. The only other thing that really bothers me is that we didn't get 480 frames per second in 1080. Besides that, I've really been enjoying this camera. There's not a lot for me to complain about. So far, the screen touch sensitivity has been great. The responsiveness to everything about it has worked flawlessly, and I really don't have any real complaints. If you have the 10 already, is it worth the upgrade? I don't know. Stay tuned and we'll do another video side by side with the 10 and find out if that is the case for you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Click that thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see more about on the GoPro 11. Until next time, I'll be seeing you.